Okay, I'm going to share with you about one of my very special early decks, and that is the Voyager Tarot deck. Now, you will see this very raggy looking bag that my Voyager Tarot deck lives in. I do love it. It's actually, at the time that I purchased it, I bought it directly from James Wanless. He was over here in Australia. The Tarot Guild of Australia brought him over to do some workshops. Oh my goodness, I've been looking for that pendulum for a while, thank heavens. And I got myself into a bit of a place after I'd finished my training and I'd been working for a while with the tarot, and I got bored because I'd learnt the meanings of the Smith Waite card so well. I felt like I wasn't working intuitively, and it's a place I needed to go next, if you know what I mean. So I was bored, I was frustrated, I wasn't sure how to tap into the intuitive stuff. And James came and did a workshop, and I was inspired by his approach, his enthusiasm, and the unusualness of these cards. Now, what I found out later was that James and a good friend of his spent Friday nights with a beer in his friend's garage, and they created all of these cards, all 78 cards, by collage. So on a Friday night, they'd sit over a beer or so and discuss which images they could include into the cards. And I think it was a process that lasted quite a long time. And so there's the images, like for example, the death card. This is very powerful. But what's in there are many, many things. Now, after all these years, I sometimes will turn a card over in a reading for a client, and I will suddenly see something that I have never seen in the image before. And that is part of the magic of these cards. It's not learn it by rote. They have this, because I suppose the myriad aspects to it, something will pop out. And the beautiful thing about this particular deck is if you're ever not exactly sure what's really important to speak to first, then you can ask the client, what do you notice? What stands out to you? And they'll look at it and they'll tell you straight away. They know it's speaking to them. If it's not speaking to me, it's speaking to them. You know, look at this here. It's incredible, right? The Man of Worlds, and he's got a word, one word that's on the card, the Minor Arcana cards in particular. So for example, the Three of Wands is the word compassion. The Man of Worlds, which is the Suit of Pentacles, achiever. And there's all these symbols of success. An athlete, the fancy car, somebody's footprint on the moon, an ancient building that stood the test of time. So regardless of the culture, that's one of the beautiful things about this deck. It doesn't matter what country you're in, which culture you're reading for. There are symbols within here that will speak to each person. It's quite a magical deck. And one of the things that I adore about this, the image on the back of the card, I do have a thing about the design on the reverse of the cards. This is human DNA, and of course I think it's James's DNA. And it is so intricate, so perfect, so beautiful. This is what we look like, every single one of us, under a microscope. So incredible, right? So this is an amazing deck, something that it's very modern, it's very eclectic. I think they mostly use National Geographic, among other things, and also it's created by men. I think there's a lot of women involved in the tarot industry, and it's really nice when, it's interesting when men get involved in this. It's not an industry that belongs to women, you know. But look at this Ace of Wands. Even there's a book as well that's been written about the deck, you know, with the descriptions and things. And I actually did a course with James. I did an online, very in-depth course. Not the first one I did, but down the track. And, you know, his way of describing, his use of language is a little different. So he'll say things like, and this sort of stuff has stuck with me, magician, and he'll get all into the body. He'll go, imagine, magic. You know, he really gets into that sort of stuff. And I actually went to a retreat that he ran with a lovely lady who was his partner at the time, I think, on the big island of Hawaii. And it was fantastic. We did quite a lot of Gestalt kind of work with the tarot, you know, moving, sounding out the cards, really embracing and embodying the archetype. And of course, I remember being put into, you know, a little grouping with two other women, you know, because we broke up into groups and worked in pairs and that sort of thing. One of them was a triple Scorpio, and what did we have? We had the Death card. That's what we were working with. The other lady was a double Scorpio. I have no Scorpio. I'm actually the opposite to that. But, you know, it's a great deck. You know, look at this incredible Lover's card. It's one piece of stone, and the two aspects, the masculine and the feminine, have been carved out of that one piece. And how perfect is that for us as we do our healing with relationships? The rose. Yeah, so this is an amazing deck, one I have loved, still use. In fact, I've used it so much that someone can talk about a card and I can actually see the image of this version of that card in my mind. So it's quite beautiful. I love this, highly recommend this deck. It will never ever go out of style. It's completely unique. Very, very beautiful deck. So let me just see the name of the other guy. I don't know. Oh yes, Ken Knutson, Knutson. So James Wanless and Ken, maybe it's Knutson, was printed in Hong Kong and copyrighted in 1986. So it's been around for a while. 86. Oh, we're going into 2026 here. This is 40 years ago. So yeah, it stood the test of time. My goodness, I didn't realize it was so long ago. But anyway, amazing, amazing deck. Highly recommend.